Howdy, B.Jr. here from B.Jr.'s Movie Cave on the Endurance Productions YouTube channel. Back at it for B.Jr.'s horrific Halloween. You know it, guys, it's getting closer. Just a few more days to Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Just a few more days to Halloween. Silver Shamrock. Yeah. Sorry, had to do that. What are we going to talk about today, guys? I picked a new subject for a recommendation video this month on B.Jr.'s horrific Halloween. We're going to talk about European horror. Anything Italian, Spanish made, anything like that that's pretty cool that I think you guys ought to check out. I pulled a few down off the racks and I'm going to kind of go through them. All these wonderfully dubbed Fulci, Argento films, Sergio Martino, you know, just all these European classics. I've been watching a ton of those today. I actually watched 3 films prior to doing this video today. Had the day off, of course. I can't do that and work at the same time, of course. But pulled out just a little bit of everything that I can recommend around this time of year, the scary movie season as I like to call it, that I think are worth your while and or ones that you should pick up or at least view on Netflix or try them out for size, basically. Let's dive right in. One of these that it's a Mario Bava film that not a lot of people talk about, a whole lot of anyway. A lot of people go for the Bava box sets that I've shown before on the videos, and a lot of the ones that are encased in that one. This is, I believe, one of his last films, if not his last film that he made. It is Mario Bava's Shock. Basically, this is kind of like a ghost story kind of movie. But it's got some old school practical effects and camera work in it it's really worth your while. Don't expect a whole lot in the gore department. There is some in there, but not like Fulci gore or anything like that. But it's got a really great atmosphere, good little creepy kid in that movie. The kid that they got to play the little boy in that movie, just creepy. I mean, just his facial expressions and everything of that nature creeps me out every time I see it. Another good European horror is from Mario Bava's son, I believe he's directed this one, Lamberto Bava. I'm about to forget his first name. He actually directed both in this double feature. It's one of these Anchor Bay double feature discs. This is Blade in the Dark and Macabre. I believe Macabre being his first film. I could have them in the wrong order, but more importantly, the one that I like best out of these two is, of course, a Blade in the Dark. It's more of a slasher giallo film. Black glove killer kind of film, very Argento-esque. Macabre's not too bad either, but don't expect it to be like a slasher. It's just off the wall crazy, and it's got one of the most wild what the F endings you've ever seen in a horror movie before. But both films, if you want some kind of European flavor or Italian flavor, except none of one or both of these films, Macabre and or Blade in the Dark. I would try to seek out this drive-in disc if you could find it, because you get the most bang for your buck. Got some behind the scenes on both features, but really, Macabre for sheer craziness and Blade in the Dark for slasher needs. I don't think you'll get let down in that arena. Just watched this one again today, my ceremonial Halloween viewing of Lucio Fulci's The New York Ripper on Blu-ray from Blue Underground. Highly recommend picking up the Blu-ray of this one. It looks pretty good, sounds pretty good. It's still got that gritty, grainy atmosphere. It's in a lot of the Fulci films. I'd about forgotten about some of the gore that's in this one. They really went for it, and I don't know. There's actually a better re-release on Blu-ray that's got more special features on it. This one just has a featurette on it and it's a theatrical trailer, but still would pick up the blue if you can find a good spot or a good price on that one. Some more Fulci goodness. Just about anything zombie-esque that Fulci puts out is really great. I pulled a few off the rack that I'm going to talk about. Lucio Fulci's Zombie. It's probably, I think it's his first zombie film where it all started, basically, or you know, kind of the one that crossed over into the U.S. market the best. Basically, you know, right there it just says it all. The cover is just, that's icon of a cover, man. I remember that on the VHS cover for years in the old mom and pop video stores. Can't go wrong with that one. I love the music score in Zombie too, or excuse me, you know, it's just got, I love the tagline too, "We are going to eat you," on the bottom there. It's awesome. I have the Arrow City of the Living Dead. Blu-ray. It's got tons of special features on it. Try to seek out these Arrow video ones, but research it first. Make sure your player can play all the special features on it. I think they're pretty much region free for the feature on here, but the special features on them, some of these are not encoded or have that different hertz or whatever on them, where you can only hear the special features, you can't see them. So make sure your player is copacetic with that. Of course, you got to throw in the Fulci's The Beyond. I have the little Anchor Bay 10 I got a while back. It's the only 10 I own. I'm lucky to have it. I'm going to do the old ceremony. It's number 5,350 of 20,000. But I don't know. I always enjoyed this movie, and I love the 10, the box on it and everything. It's got the little lobby cards in it and all that stuff, and of course the disc. But The Beyond is probably pound for pound my favorite zombie film that he put out, because it's got that supernatural atmosphere to it, and the ending's just one of the coolest endings in a Fulci film ever. I like just about anything Fulci puts out. I mean, I even like his non-zombie, non-horror stuff. Just to name a few of those off the top of my head. One that not a lot of people like, but I really enjoy, is The Psychic. Always enjoyed the atmosphere of that one. Not a whole lot of gore in that one, but Jennifer O'Neill turns in a good performance in that one. Also, while we're at it, Contraband, that's a good one too. It's a mob flick that Fulci did. And I just watched this one last night, as a matter of fact, The Black Cat. That's a good one too. It's kind of fun to see what Fulci did with the Poe story of the Black Cat. He kind of did his version of it. And something else within my mouth's running a mile a minute. I'm sorry guys, but I've had tons of caffeine. I'm ready to rock and roll today. But House by the Cemetery, that's a real good one in the zombie vein of him, but it's got a supernatural element in it too. I could go on and on about Fulci films, but that's to give you a little taste of what I recommend. I know a lot of horror fans out there, you've seen these movies a million times, but for the folks out there that are just casual horror fans that haven't seen these or don't really know about all the other titles, check them out if you ever have a chance. Here's one that I watched today as well, Sergio Martino's Torso. This is the older Anchor Bay disc. It doesn't have the real, I like the newer cover. This cover's cool. It's got the masked killer on the front and everything, but they got a new re-release from Blue Underground on Blu-ray and DVD. It's got the big hacksaw on the front of it. I'd probably seek out that version of it. This is the uncut widescreen presentation of the movie, so I've held on to it, and I'm probably going to double dip for the Blu-ray one day. But anyway, not short on nudity. You got hippies galore in this one, drug use, nudity, slasher, masked killer, all kinds of wild stuff in Torso. I mean, it's very kinky in spots. Some scenes in this movie you're probably going to think, why in the world, what am I watching here? What kind of door did we just step into? And then it goes back to horror again. So, but anyway, I really enjoy Torso because it's not the best giallo or slasher film, in that vein. But if you just want a good, all-out European sleazy atmosphere horror movie in that vein of movie, Torso is one you definitely want to pick up, or at least give it a viewing at one point or another. Some Argento goodness, guys. You can't be talking European horror without putting Argento's films in there at some point. Arrow release of Phenomena, one of his better ones. I've always enjoyed the atmosphere of this movie. Jennifer Connelly does a great job as a child actress in this one. Tons of special features on this one. I can say without a doubt, Phenomena, everything, this is a Region 2 release, of course, but it is region free in that respect, I should say. You can view all the special features on this, no problem. But Phenomena is a really good one if you want a kind of a slasher, highly atmospheric Argento trip. That's a good one. Some other notable ones from Argento. One of his breakout ones was, of course, The Bird with Crystal Plumage. There's a better edition from this, from Blue Underground, but I believe it's out of print. But that's the VCI one that you can still get your hands on. I don't know if they got the rights back or if they still just had a bunch left over, but I bought this at Fright Night Film Fest, and it's a pretty good transfer. Deep Red is another really good one from Argento. This is the newer release that just came out not too long ago from Blue Underground. Sadly, I didn't get the Blu-ray. I know you guys are probably thinking, man, you're stupid, you should have got the Blu-ray. But I don't know. I got a really good deal on this one, brand new. Walmart had them on sale online, so I just grabbed a DVD of it. Transfer is not really bad on the DVD of this, so I don't feel like I got ripped off or nothing. So maybe one day I'll trade up and get the Blu-ray, but if anything, try to watch at least this one. I kind of prefer the theatrical cut of this one a little bit better than the. I've saved my old Anchor Bay one here. This is the old. This one has the skeleton on the front of it. This is the uncut director's cut, or whatever you want to call it. I should just call it director's cut because it's just a longer version of this one, the theatrical cut of the movie. Personally, I think it makes it overlong by about 15 minutes. There's a lot of just elongated dialogue scenes that don't really do anything for the plot, so I would stick with the newer version of it from Blue Underground. That's what I recommend. Of course, you know, you got Suspiria, Inferno, you know, any one of these Argento trips would be great. One of my personal favorites by Argento has always been Tenebrae, just an early 80s return to slasherisms by Argento. I really love that one. I love the score to the music. I don't know, it's not real high on atmosphere or anything like that, but it's got a really good kind of a rock disco dirty funk score to it, and always enjoyed that. Lamberto Bava's Demons is another one you can pick up. That's a pretty good one. Some more. This is a Spanish-made zombie film, which I also, hold one second, I have the Blu-ray of it as well. Let me pull that one out while we're at it just to be thorough. It is, of course, Let Sleeping Corpses Lie. It's a Spanish-made zombie film filmed in England, on locations in England. And the true title, or the title it's been re-released under, is The Living Dead at Manchester Morgue. I prefer that title better because that's just the one I like better. But awesome Blu-ray. I highly recommend if you want something a little different in the zombie film. And it's done really well. There's not hordes of zombies like in Romero's films or nothing like that. But it's highly atmospheric, great special effects, good practical special effects in this one. Love the locations in this film. I don't know, I just always have championed this one because it really holds its own. It's not a series or nothing. There's no sequels to it that I know of, and I don't know, I just always love this one. But Living Dead at Manchester Morgue and/or Let Sleeping Corpses Lie, same movie. Highly recommend checking that one out. Let's see if I've got any more picked out here. Some European flavor. Here's one, Baby Blood. That's one that not a lot of people talk about. Excuse my ghetto cover on this one. This was a loose one that I bought in a jewel case from a video store closeout. But Baby Blood, I'm not sure who made that, if it's an Italian production or if it's a Spanish-made production. I do know the movie's dubbed. It's really off the wall. It's a girl that works, that was in a carnival or something. She's pregnant with a demon child, and it's got a psychic link to her telling her to kill for blood and all this other. It's really wild. There's tons of special effects and gore in that one. I'd highly recommend checking it out if you've never checked it out before. Some more kind of foreign-made European atmosphere kind of movies. Night Train Murders. This is another closeout I bought, and I bought this one too recently. I just put them in cases to be protected. Shockwaves. That's another good one. Shockwaves is really good. It's sort of like it's not your typical zombie film. It's kind of a Nazi exploitation zombie film, if that makes any sense. It's got Peter Cushing in it. Really enjoy that one. Night Train Murders. It's good for at least a viewing if you've never seen it, but it's basically a European ripoff of Last House on the Left takes place mostly on a train. If that makes any sense. It's Last House on the Left on a train, but with a European feel to it, dubbed feel to it. I don't know how else to say it, but those are some different ones you could probably check out. And I'm thinking that's probably about it for today in my recommendations of yeah, I think I'll just close with that. Actually, no, there's a couple other ones that you probably want that are noteworthy. Dario Argento's got another good one, Opera. I'll definitely recommend today. Opera gets a bad rep a lot of times. They're saying, he did his better films 10 years early. Hey, screw that. This came out in the late 80s, and this was kind of like one of the last great giallo films, ever, was Opera. There's tons of great special effects, practical effects in this movie. Great music score. Atmosphere's great. The dubbing not so much, but I'll at least try to get this Anchor Bay disc or one of these better transfers of the film. And that's one thing I need. I guess I could close on is there's tons of European horror films, Italian-made, Spanish-made films. The biggest piece of advice I can give you whenever you're trying to find some of these films and view them for the first time, don't cheap out. You know, try to find a good company's version of Anchor Bay, Blue Underground, VCI, somebody that's taken the time to actually restore the movie a little bit or to give you some special features. Mainly because if you cheap out and go with some of these, you know, no-name distributors, a lot of times you're going to get like a VHS, really poor transfer that's so dark you won't even be able to see it, or just really ratty looking. You won't be able to tell what's going on half the time, or they'll do a full screen transfer of a 2:3:5 to 1 aspect ratio. You're going to be missing half the movie. So that's my best advice is don't cheap out. You may have to pay a little bucks for it, or try to view it first on Netflix and then invest in it. I think you'll have a better time if you go that route with it. These have been your European flavor horror film recommendations today. That's why I've been doing these recommendation videos for the last couple times. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. Drop a comment. Tell me if there's any more that you guys have seen that I didn't have in my list. And I'll try to track them down myself, and we'll all enjoy in the community atmosphere of YouTube during the horrific Halloween.